Okay, so yeah, let's get started. And I'll just give a brief introduction about myself. And I've been in the industry for the last 12 plus years and over 6 years with American Airlines. And I have hands-on experience with the GoldenGate, the classic version as well as the PaaS solution now with the help of Oracle. And yeah, I have got expertise even in Kubernetes, and that's not a prerequisite for GoldenGate for microservices, but yes, for other applications, yes, I do have those expertise as well. And yes, so this is a high-level introduction about myself. And yes, we have a couple of Oracle-related products, and we are an avid user of many different Oracle technologies. And I'll just go through on who we are. I hope everyone does know who we are, but for those who don't know, so we are the largest airline in terms of fleet size, and we have over 100,000 members. And we are headquartered in Dallas. And yes, it's a great place to work. And let's see. And this is the application which I'll be talking about today. So this is our loyalty platform, and I hope most of you are aware of the Advantage program. And I'm talking about this application today, and this is known as Ventana internally. And we host the world's largest and the oldest airline program. It's called as Advantage. And we have up to 30 million web service requests processing daily from ada.com, mobile app, internal and external clients as well. And we run this application on the Siebel, and right now the Siebel is hosted on the OKE, Oracle Kubernetes Engine, and the database is hosted on the Oracle XSCS, and we are on 19C. And this is the application from where we have tried to use the GoldenGate to extract the data. Even this application has been moved to OCI with the GoldenGate Classic service. So now we are using the microservices for our data sharing modernization. So I'll tell you what we have gone through. So, right. So we have a large footprint, and we are a multi-cloud environment, and there are many applications on our Azure footprint. And sharing data has been getting really tougher when more and more applications are moving to cloud. And we are on Oracle Cloud. We have presence on Azure and IBM Cloud. So the data sharing has really getting more and more difficult nowadays, especially with our legacy solutions. Like I think most of the enterprises use FTP, and a lot of data analytic tools are not able to consume CSV, and it's not much real time as well. And in today's use case, like we use ADLS, the Azure Data Lake Storage, and Snowflake. And with CSV, this has not been a real pleasant experience. So we were looking for an alternative solution, especially a cloud-based PaaS solution. And Oracle did approaches with GoldenGate, and glad we have implemented it. And it really solved a lot of problems. And I'll just show, I think this is, I think most of our customers and many enterprises use this, the legacy data sharing, the file sharing or the data sharing architecture. So we used to, when we moved to OCI, I think we moved around a year and a half ago, and we have our Oracle database. Let me just. So the Ventana Oracle database, which is hosted on the cloud service. And we have a data staging ETL solution data stage, which extracts the data, and then it exports that into a CSV file. And this file, we used to do an FTP to our partners, and they used to do their analysis, analytics, and all these things. And this was all good till we are on-prem. And as and when things started changing, and this is getting real and more difficult, and it's really not a scalable solution, and adapting to the demanding needs from our partners. So when we introduced the GoldenGate, when we introduced the GoldenGate, I'll just show how the architecture has changed. Right. So this is how the GoldenGate for big data solution, when we have implemented it. And before I dig deeper into it, so I'll just briefly go through the network topography that we have at American. So we have a hub and spoke VCN network infrastructure. This is my mouse. Sorry for the mouse cursor. Yeah. So all the applications are hosted on the spoke VCN, and we have the firewall installed on the hub VCN. So this is how OCI is set up, or any other cloud that we have in American is set up. And between the two clouds, we have an interconnect, which did give us less than 3 milliseconds latency. And We have the same setup in Azure as well, where we have the firewall on the Hub VCN and VNet, and then we have the Databricks, Snowflake, and all other things on the Spoke VNet. So I think just in my previous, I think the previous session shown by Julian, and so we do have two GoldenGates. One installed for GoldenGate for Oracle, and another for GoldenGate for big data. So the GoldenGate for Oracle does extract data from the Ventana Oracle database. So then the distribution path sends the files over to the GoldenGate for big data, and this one translates and transforms the trail files, the replicate process, to the Parquet format, which we do need it for the ADLS. And the file sends, with the ADLS connector, we were able to send the file all through from Oracle Cloud to ADLS to the service endpoint. And we have a private endpoint which connects to the ADLS, and we do the authentication with Azure AD authentication. And the files are loaded into the ADLS. And this is how our business users are able to access through Databricks all the data files that we store on the ADLS. And there are many other applications that are hosted on ADLS. So the business users are able to merge and transform and share the data across the enterprise through ADLS. And GoldenGate did play a great role here in sharing this and having this kind of replication, which did really help us. And the next one is the Snowflake. So I think just now Julian was talking about this. So we were using the same structure. GoldenGate was able to capture the data that is required for Snowflake. And we were using Snowflake's internal stage and merge. This is not an external one because we have the Snowflake hosted on another region. So we were able to extract the files, send it over, and directly to the private link. I think this was a JDBC connection. And the trail files are staged and merged directly into the Snowflake, and they are loaded into the tables. And with this, we are able to share the data with all our, we have multiple external partners hosted outside the American Airlines network, various hotels and banks. They're able to use the data directly. And from Snowflake, yes, it's pretty easy, and we have now a great tool to share the data. So, and this was also been made possible only because we were using GoldenGate for big data. And this is a screenshot of our implementation, and not, you might have seen the real implementation, but yes, this is a screenshot of our implementation of GoldenGate for big data. We're on the latest one, and this is the distribution service, I think. Yes, so this is the pump from the source, and it sends to the GoldenGate for big data. Just give us a screenshot of this, and I'll just go through what we achieved with GoldenGate for big data or our FTP, file direct transfer. Okay, so FTP, as most of in enterprises, it has a scope for file corruption, and there's a security issue, and we have various network protocols that have been installed for this. So everything was now eliminated, and we were pretty happy with that. And business analytics. So this was one of our main reason to use GoldenGate. So the analytics for business, this has been in our legacy solution. It used to take like 24 hours for every batch. It's a batch job, right? So we used to send a file for every 24 hours, and business used to wait for the latest data for 24 hours. And with GoldenGate, we did get rid of that. So they are able to see the latest data each and every time they refresh it, and they have the latest data, and they don't need to wait for 24 hours for getting to see the latest changes that has been done on the real-time OLTP systems. And I think as earlier our Oracle partners were mentioning, so Parquet format did really help us, especially Parquet and Avro for any cloud storage solution. I think ADLS in our case has been really helpful, and both the GoldenGate for big data connectors that we used, they were really helpful with this. And we just got rid of the CSV anymore, and because Parquet is like a little bit more secure compared to CSV. And yes, we are now using Databricks a lot with this, and we were able to send all the real-time data via ADLS and directly to Snowflake. So this is also we were able to do it just because of GoldenGate for big data. And this was one more I think this was an add-on that we got. So the ETL changes earlier, if you want to add any new column or any table, there was an ETL change and we had to propagate the changes to the target, and the customers had to make changes for that to accept the new structure of data that is coming through. I think with GoldenGate, extract any new column, I don't think that's a big change, or any new table also is not a big change. And that has really helped, the overall turnaround time for any new changes to be shared and to be propagated at much faster pace than our previous solutions. And one more thing as for CDC. So when we were sending out files with data, anything that was changed, updated or deleted, we used to have them tracked in a column named flagging. And anything that was deleted or updated, we used to flag them. And the next day, the customers used to update the changes accordingly. And with CDC technology of GoldenGate, so that's completely gone. And whatever changes that gets updated on the source side, it's directly reflected onto the target as well. And this is also a great one. This is just like our classic GoldenGate solution. And it has, anything that happens to GoldenGate, it picks up right from the point where it fails. So that has really helped us. Whenever we have a network outage or a source outages or anything, we don't need to regenerate files and, send the whole file again. It's a duplication there. And, everything that's been there with the legacy solution of FTP, that's gone. And I think that's pretty much it. And I thank Oracle partners for providing us this opportunity. And I would like to have a special mention to Dennis Sandil, who did really help us dedicatedly and, to achieve our targets. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sunil.
Yes, Sunil, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. This is a fantastic presentation, very insightful to see the work that your team have done, and we appreciate that. I've maybe two quick questions for you. One is we see from some of our customers that interconnect, that co-located region setup with Azure and Oracle seems to be a pretty good setup. We hear a lot of customers with pretty consistent sub 2 millisecond latencies. Are you also seeing, very good low latency connections between those Ashburn environments?
Yes, we do. It's just not the GoldenGate. We do have a bunch of applications talking between Oracle and the Azure cloud, all through the interconnect, and they are really seamless. Absolute no latency at all, almost.
Yeah, agreed. I'm glad to hear that. Actually, I was worried because I didn't pre-vet that question with you, so you could have said no. It didn't work at all. But we I've been really impressed with this since it rolled out. These co-located regions rolled out. We've been getting very reliable. It's almost like it's just another AZ for Azure. The OCI data centers are the very reliable low latency connections. And then, the other question I had is when you expanded to include both the Snowflake and the ADLS, do you wind up running two different GoldenGate for big data deployments? Do you split your workloads so that you have different distribution paths going out from GG Big Data, or is that the same big data GoldenGate for big data deployment that's essentially feeding both environments?
It's the same deployment. We just had 2 extracts, 2 pumps, and 2 replicates because the source of the for both is same. The database is same. So
same extracts, and so you split
just
the
different set of tables. So we just split the extracts, and I think that's really possible with the microservices, unlike the classic architecture. So yeah, we had 2 different pipes flowing through 2 different ends.
Gotcha. Yeah. For those that don't know, the Snowflake environments typically prefer Avro, and then for Azure Data Lake, it would be Parquet. But yeah, no, this is great, Sunil. Thank you again so much. We appreciate it.